In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the display options you have when creating your freeform surfaces. So if we scroll all the way to the bottom of your freeform surfaces dialog, you'll see we have a few options. There's a face transparency box at the top of the display options. This allows you to modify the transparency of the face you're creating. This comes in handy whenever you're dealing with geometry on the opposite side of your face. If you need to, for instance, clear some components that are behind this face, you can make it transparent so you can easily see through and take a look at the kind of clearances you're making. Below that, we have a mesh preview. If we deselect this, it's going to remove the mesh lines. Typically, I leave the mesh preview on, but there are certain instances when you want to remove the mesh preview to make it a little bit easier to see. With mesh preview on, you can also modify the density of that mesh. As you can see, if we reduce the mesh density, it's a little bit harder to see the curvature that's being created. If you increase it, you get a little bit better idea of the kind of curvature and the amount of curvature in certain areas as you rotate the part around. Another time that turning mesh preview off helps is whenever you want to deal with zebra stripes or curvature combs. So if we turn curvature combs on, the curvature combs are based on the mesh density. So then you need to turn mesh preview on and manually modify the mesh density to modify the amount of curvature combs that are created. Once curvature combs are selected, you can then turn them on in direction 1, direction 2, or both directions. You have the option for curvature type either as a surface or curvature. When you select surface, the normal direction of the curvature combs is based on the angle of the surface it's attached to. If you select curve, they're always going to be in the normal direction that is aligned with your coordinate system. For instance, the purple lines are normal or in the same direction as our y coordinate. The green lines are also in the same direction as the y, but they're aligned along the x-axis. We have options to modify the scale and density of these. So there are certain instances where you need to have a smaller scale but a larger density to help you understand the curvature. You may also need to modify the mesh density and even the face transparency to really get a good idea of what you're creating. So these are just some of the tools that allow you to get a very accurate and detailed preview while you're creating your surfaces. All these options can be on while you're manually modifying your control points. It does slow things down a little bit, but it really helps you understand how you're modifying your geometry and what kind of surface quality you're going to get after the surface has been created. After the fact, you can always go to your Evaluate tab and take a look at the zebra stripes or curvature. These are also handy tools to take a look at the curvature that you've created using your freeform tool.